Hi, everybody. It is Mike, the Heal Your Gut Guy, and today we have a special guest. Her name is Sophia, and she had a mixture of skin conditions, a little dermatitis, eczema, and psoriasis, but we're going to call it dermatitis today. So welcome. Tell us about your dermatitis experience and some things you tried and what worked where you have clear skin today.
Yeah, so I had dermatitis on my hand for about 7 years in total.
Wow.
And I tried everything to heal it. Like the first 5 years I was using steroid creams, or no, 2 or 3 years. And the first thing when I went off those that I started doing to heal it was like fasting, intermittent fasting. And that really worked. And I did that for a long time. But then when I stopped doing that, it came back. Then I started going down the diet route. I studied naturopathy, so I was very much like in that realm of nutrition, like being the root cause of healing. And I thought I had every like gut health condition you could imagine, every form of toxic like toxin, like parasites, like everything I studied, I basically thought that I had.
Did you have digestive symptoms?
No.
There we go. They do.
Out in your skin too, or like heavy metals can like there's always just that.
It magically only chooses this spot every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
then I eventually heard of the Carnivore Diet, and I tried that because my mom had also really bad eczema, but all over her body because she had red skin syndrome. She was on steroids her whole life, so she had come off them in this time period. So we were both like, let's do Carnivore Diet together, and I was also and so did that, and it completely healed, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. But every time I started eating other foods, it would come back. And from there, like, I just started going a bit crazy with food, more so than I had, and just trying different cleanses. I then started getting into just what is true with diet, and I was looking down like all the vegan cleanses and like, okay, so I started trying like medical medium detox protocol. There was one point I was just like fruitarian for like a week.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And they all helped, but I was basically trying to find my food triggers. Like what am I allergic to? I thought I had allergies then, which was caused by some gut dysbiosis or something. Eventually, I went to an Ayurvedic practitioner, and she then gave me like a full list of different foods that were triggering it, but it did give me more freedom. So I went off of all that stuff and could eat grains again, eat some meats and different things.
Nice.
And she also helped me see like there's a stress connection there. And so it gave me a bit more freedom. But then, I came across G&M and your page, and that just was like, whoa, okay. Because I always kind of felt, I didn't want to admit it, but there's something going on mentally that has to be triggering this.
Yeah.
And so then, I tried to treat it, like figure that conflict out on my own, just through G&M, but I couldn't figure it out.
I got like a text from you one day, and it was just like, it was working for a little bit, but it's back worse than ever now. And I could like see the frustration in your text. And I'm like, hey, let's talk. Like, you're so close. Like, I could tell by the way she was wording the message, like she was so close. Because this stuff is like, the logic is backwards to the way that we normally think. But a lot of us don't recognize that the symptoms themselves are the conflict. And you had like a double whammy, the new symptom of what did they call it? The pinky.
The infection of your pinky.
Yeah, the pinky was infected. So there's two layers of the skin. So there's the epidermis here. This thing is disgusting, by the way. And so there's the epidermis, which that's what causes the flakiness. That's what causes, so it's conflict active for a separation conflict. And then underneath, because I guess it came back on your pinky and you felt attacked by it. And underneath is feeling soiled, feeling dirtied, or feeling attacked. And so that's cell proliferation in the conflict active phase, and then cell removal in the healing phase. So you were kind of like in this process where, this was there for quite a while, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that came about shortly after doing carnivore.
Okay.
Other foods in like a while, like it would have been a while ago, like a year ago or something. And it came, and I thought it was because I was doing all these different, taking so many herbs, taking every supplement, like doing all these things that just like my body reacted and it just got infected. And it went away after our first session, like literally that week.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So, yeah, so then we had our session together, and you brought to my attention that it was my desire to be separate from my hand that was causing the eczema, right?
Yeah.
And in relation to my mom and seeing her that way, I just studied naturopathy and was like, I have to get rid of this to practice.
Yeah. I don't think people understand like kind of what you went through seeing your mom have eczema to her extent, or whatever it was. Cause like I've seen people where like their whole face is like flaking off. And like, I can imagine seeing that as a little girl or even a grown up and just being terrified and fearing that's going to happen to you. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, like I also always grew up seeing her with Band-Aids on her fingers and like things like that
So your imagination, I'm in the health space and I'm not even aware that it can get that bad. So your imagination must be running wild with how bad this can get.
Yeah. And I had this huge conflict that I have to heal this so I don't pass it on to my children one day. Like I remember when I said that to you and you're just like, wow, that is like a really big belief right there, like to have. And it was the first time I was like, wow, it actually is. That's putting a lot of weight on my shoulders. And
Kim Kardashian says that she like blames her mom for her giving her eczema.
Yeah. So yeah, and then the pinky was like even more like, I think you said, a disgust sort of conflict at my hand, which I can so see how that was. So after that, I was like, okay, I'm not going to look at it. I started doing my nails and just like getting them done. Because for so long, I was like, I'm not allowed to get my nails done until my hand's healed. And then I was like, realized, why am I saying that to myself?
Yeah.
So yeah, I started doing that. And I was so self-conscious when the lady was doing it, but it showed me like how much I needed to change my mindset as well.
Yeah.
And then I tried to let go of it all, and I had moments where it was clearer for longer, flare-ups were less worse, but I still couldn't fully let go and get over the conflict on my own. And that's where I just like had this moment of complete surrender and prayer to God, and just like through Christianity, like Jesus just changed my mindset and helped me let go, and then from there I've been healed.
Yeah, Dr. Hammer would say it kind of happens on a practical or logical level. And I guess that's where GNM and people yelling GNM at you comes into play. But then they also resolve it on a spiritual level. So, and that can mean different things for different people. So,
yeah, no, it definitely can be helpful just because these mindset patterns are so ingrained. So whatever that we can shift them. But
one of the, I grew up in a Christian family, but I never like understood Christian principles. And so one of like the biggest things is being like obedient to God unto death. Like that's pretty like obedience. And probably one of the like the thing up at the top of the list is to choose peace. is to continuously choose peace of mind, not to worry.
Yeah. And that's what, because before I was like, before that, every time I'd feel a conflict come in my mind, I think I ruined it. And oh no, I worried about it yesterday. It's going to come back in the next week. Once I started being that conflict side and the mental side. But with God, I was just like, I just put that on him every day. I'm like, God, I'm sorry I doubted you. I'm sorry I worried yesterday. Like, just take that from my heart. And it just helped me have like a fresh start every single day in my mind. That just let go and just like helped with that shift of I can't do it on my own, but with God, like God's my strength and I can do it with him and he'll take it off my heart and just like
I see when people first start doing German New Medicine, I kind of see this pattern of like, oh no, I hit a track. Oh no, I got too emotional about, like, they're really hard on themselves. But if you kind of take the approach that you did, it's like a total, we can only do like think one thing at a time. And if you fall into that pattern of like forgiveness, like forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and, you know, being thankful and asking God and the Holy Spirit and Jesus for wisdom, like it's just like a whole other direction we're heading.
Yeah. And when you focus on God, like with all your heart and make that your priority, a lot of those conflicts will naturally go away. Like it's a great way to help heal conflicts, like without you trying to. Like God can do it by just letting him do it and just focusing on that and nothing else. Like that's how I had to do it. Just like I had to stop looking at my hand. I still don't really look at it, because if I do look at it, it's so quick for my like mind to imagine it on my hand again and like get that attachment. So I try to minimally. I'm still like praying for strength to get over that and just like but I know, because I can feel it and I haven't had an itch in ages and I've taken photos and like, you know.
Well, does it still itch occasionally or anything like that?
No.
No? Very cool.
Yeah.
So did you read any passages or books about biblical healing that kind of was like a light bulb moment for you?
I did. I followed a couple. I started reading the Bible like every day, which I hadn't really done so much before, and like found a few YouTube channels. I can send them to you if you want to share them. That were found a really good minister who preaches just on healing, and he's like really good at that from a biblical lens. And just watched loads of testimonies to just increase my faith. And I just really prayed to believe and to have faith in Jesus. I knew there was a disbelief there that I really also worked on. And there just came a point too that I think what helped let go is I like got to a point where I was just like, God, I want you more than healing. And I just wanted to create that connection with God first. And I knew like if I could create that connection myself, then healing wouldn't even matter then too. And in that as well, like the healing came because I also let go of it, which was part of the conflict. But passages, I mean, I can't say them off the top of my head, but
that's fine. Yeah.
I definitely use them. Like I've stuck them all over my room.
Cool. Well, that's the way to build faith in anything. You got to hear the word. What is the word of German New Medicine? I mean, how are you going to understand it if you don't hear it and if you don't talk about it with other people? And the same thing goes for, you know, Christianity, or, you know, believing in God and Jesus. Like you have to practice it, because otherwise your head's going to get filled with, you know, whatever's on TV or whatever you're watching on YouTube or whatever. So
true. Like I still see my mom sometimes. She'll have like something playing about eczema, like she was like playing something about it, and I literally just call down like, Mom, stop watching that. Like, what are you watching mind with, like, just watch stuff on God.
Uh-huh.
It's like, okay. Like, turns it off. It's like, just don't like flood your mind with it so much and obsess over it. It just stops you from creating that mental shift, whatever the conflict is. It's like, just try and get out of that.
When I Googled like testimonies on gut issues about like biblical healing, I was shocked at some of the pages I found. They were like, like the scroll bar was like this tiny, and like my finger would get tired scrolling down the page. Like there are lots and lots and lots and lots of like biblical healing testimonies.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I fully believe that. Yeah. Like, it's so powerful.
Yeah. So somebody they got their hands itching and flaky and all that stuff. What would you tell them now? How to get started? Elevator pitch to them.
Well, it depends if they're believe in Jesus Christ or not. An elevator pitch, I guess. But I mean, firstly, to anyone, like try to believe in God first, because God can take you out of any mental conflict that you might have. Stop focusing on it. Like, start thinking, what are you not doing now? Like, for me, I wasn't getting my nails done, right? Like, do the thing that, don't let it be an excuse of how you can live your life. Like, just let it go. Stop thinking about it. And whatever the mind shift is, start focusing on that. But don't put too much pressure on yourself too. That's where God can come in. Like, put the pressure on him. Let him take it off you. That is what changed everything for me. And just start, affirmations, like, pray to God to help you, I guess. It's not the best elevator pitch, but
no, I mean, that could resonate with somebody and make somebody else run. Depends on the person. But so guys, this is the skin program, the epidermis program. So it's cell loss in the conflict active phase, like get away from me, or I miss this person. And we're really not even aware of what the original conflict could have been. Yeah. But at some point the conflict transferred to the rash itself. Like, oh my God, I can't stand this thing. I want to separate from my hand thing.
Yeah. I think too, like, just believing in yourself, like believing that you're strong enough to shift your mindset, and just holding that belief. Like, just believe in yourself. Yeah. Like, watch all the testimonies like you are of other people who've done it.
Yeah.
And don't let anyone else's, like, because I really had to let go of so many food fears and my whole concept of how health and nutrition worked. And it was so easy to let other things I'd see and hear just come in and have that doubt come in.
Yeah.
But you have to go in full force if you
did. So, because you were flaky, you were conflict active. And so at some point, so it's flaky in the conflict active, then it gets resolved. So it transforms, like water enters the tissue to do the cell restoration, and it becomes itchy. And, that can make someone go crazy and become conflict active again. Did you experience the itchiness while you were healing? Or what was your experience like when it made that switch?
I think it's kind of hard to.
You were probably like in the healing phase too.
Yeah, when we first had our chat, and like I messaged you saying I was so close, and then it came back because I thought I was healed. I was like, you like, I'm healed, and you're like, great, let's do a testimony. And then like a few days later, I'm like, actually, I'm not. It came back.
I remember that. Yeah, so.
It's because I was also would get attached, like, yes, I'm healed, and then fear would come in. Oh no, what if it comes back and I've already announced that I'm healed? And then it's like get that active, and then it would But in that process of not looking at it and fully letting go, I did feel some itches came in. And that's when I started saying, in the name of Jesus, stop the itch. In the name of Jesus, and I just took command over it.
Mm-hmm.
And it would go away in that second. And then it
Oh, wow. Okay.
move on. Like, I did notice that, that mind connection
but yeah. So people know, but the itchiness is part of the healing phase. So it's actually something to get excited about. Maybe it's not the most pleasant thing in the world, but it's like there's cell loss in this area, and blood is flowing back to that area. Inflammation is healing. So it's not pleasant, but it's healing. The pain is a cast, the itching, that's just how that tissue behaves. But that's a good opportunity to freak out if we don't understand what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, definitely the itch did come as I was healing. Like that was probably the lost sensation I felt. Even when my skin was like healed, there'd be like minor like itch things that would come. And
cool.
So it's definitely possible. GNM was literally the key that helped me figure out those conflicts.
Which foods were you like you just like went back after when you made the mind shift switch?
Pizza.
Yeah.
Ice cream, eggs, lots of eggs. Like I had
eggs were off limits. Eggs were off limits
for a while. Yeah, like because even when I did the carnivore diet, I kind of tracked like eggs weren't letting me fully heal, and when I let them go, then healed. And then the Ayurvedic doctor was like, no eggs. So I was like, okay, it must be that again.
I love it when the Ayurvedic doctors are like, no dairy.
Yeah. Well, she actually let me have milk.
Okay.
Cool. So that, she helped me a bit with that. But yeah, eggs, lots of eggs, and had a lot of just like processed chocolate stuff because I needed to show myself there's really nothing here going on. Like, I don't know if they have Kit Kats over there.
Oh, we got Kit Kats. Yeah.
Because just that fear of toxins and stuff. But nothing. It literally, like, as I was healing, I started eating all that stuff to prove to myself this is working.
Yeah.
And
cool.
It's not crazy.
Yeah. Is your mom? How's your mom doing with it?
Well, she's gone a different route, so she's on immunosuppressants now, which she's cleared. So
Yeah. So it's a lot of the reason why these drugs are effective is the belief behind them. And a lot of the times the stress comes back into the life, into somebody's life, and the symptoms come back, and that kind of destroys the belief that the drug is working. So to each his own, but if it works, it works. That's good.
Yeah. I tried to approach her with the mental side, and she's just like, no, I don't want to go down that route. So
just leave it alone. That's all we can do. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad, you're better now, and, it's a learning process, guys. There's times where, and it's life. These things are unexpected conflict shocks. Like, we're not prepared for them. And, even the top GNM experts, they have their own programs they got to deal with. And so, usually it's, you gradually get, I'm on a camera, it's going backwards. You gradually get better. It's not like this perfect, I can't do it on the screen. It's not a perfect straight path.
Exactly. That's so important. Yeah, it is like that. Yeah,
cool.
It's a mind shift. It takes work, and you can fall back but then you keep going, and eventually you just work your way up.
Cool. Well, thank you, Sophie, for sharing your expertise on the matter. Do you have your own health coach business as well on Instagram?
I do more intuitive eating.
Okay.
So it's really just helping people get back in touch with how they want to eat, but in an aligned way without worrying about that, all that stuff. Kind of, yeah. So it's my own approach. Like,
well, yeah, we'll put your Instagram down below so people can, follow you. And your pictures are very pretty on this whatever you're cooking. So I was always really impressed. So
the food, yeah. Yeah, trying to figure out the way to, if I will incorporate nutrition with what I do, or just let go of it completely.
Did you follow Weston A. Price?
Yeah.
He made a little pit stop in New Zealand. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. After Carnivore Diet, he was who I was on too.
Yeah.
I still believe in, ancestral eating.
Cool. Yeah, I guess the Maori, they were eating, the European settlers said they were eating people, but Weston A. Price saw that they were eating, like shellfish and fish, and then, they were probably eating some sort of taro root or cassava root or some sort of tuber and lots of coconut. And I mean, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think as well, though, there's that line of how much do you follow nutrition and how do you let it go to. Obviously, getting your nutrients in is good, but I think the mind at the end of the day is ultimately the most powerful. Yeah.
The mind can cause all the nutrients just to shoot right through.
Yeah, exactly. So like focusing on that most is, I think.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you sharing. This is going to help a lot of people. I didn't suffer from, I had a lot of acne. I was a pizza face, but this eczema it's I've seen it be really difficult for a lot of people. And this story is going to help a lot of people. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Hope it does.